Hello and welcome. I'm Galen Smith.
And I'm Sandy Reese.
And we'll be your host and your Fidelity Review guides, demonstrating some of the techniques for conducting supported employment Fidelity reviews.
The interviews and scenes you'll see in this video are based on the experiences of reviewers like us, who have conducted Fidelity visits with many agencies across the country. These demonstrations have been created based on those experiences. The regular use of Fidelity reviews helps an agency to understand how closely they are following an evidence-based practice such as supported employment.
Some people have concerns about the value of Fidelity reports. We want to be clear that Fidelity reviews are important because good Fidelity means better outcomes for the people who are using the services. For example, in supported employment, we know that more people will become employed when an agency closely follows Fidelity guidelines.
Before we get underway, we want to express our gratitude to our partners from Johnson & Johnson Corporate Contributions for their support of the Johnson & Johnson Dartmouth Community Mental Health Program and for making this multimedia kit possible. In this national program, we have worked with scores of mental health and vocational rehabilitation agencies to establish and develop high-fidelity supported employment programs.
We're often asked about which people should conduct Fidelity reviews for agencies. Based on our experiences, we recommend that agencies not conduct their own Fidelity reviews because it's difficult to be objective about services in your own agency.
We recommend that Fidelity reviews be conducted by people who have a solid working knowledge of evidence-based supported employment and who have been trained to conduct reviews and write Fidelity reports. We highly recommend that people be provided the opportunity to observe several Fidelity visits with trained and experienced supported employment Fidelity reviewers as a part of their training.
We recommend that you actively use the materials in the Fidelity kit as you watch and learn with this DVD. You have a supported employment kit that contains the 2008 Fidelity Scale, a scoring sheet, the Fidelity Review Manual, a sample Fidelity visit schedule, and a sample supported employment Fidelity report from a fictional agency.
If you're not familiar with the updated 2008 Supported Employment Fidelity Scale, please pause the video and carefully review each of the items on the scale.
The 2008 scale was revised to make sure it's based on the most current research evidence for supported employment services. You'll notice that for each Fidelity item, there is a 1 to 5 rating scale. This scale describes how well each item is implemented by the agency. A score of 1 is the lowest level of implementation, and a score of 5 indicates that an item is fully implemented. In your Fidelity kit, you'll also find a supported employment Fidelity Review Manual. This manual describes the review process, provides tips for asking questions, and includes a sample Fidelity review schedule. We strongly encourage you to spend time reading this manual and the attached sample Fidelity report.
During a Fidelity review visit, it's important for reviewers to gather as much information as possible from multiple sources in order to develop a correct score for each item. For example, gathering information for the Fidelity item, community-based services, during a Fidelity visit, a reviewer might ask an employment specialist to go over her schedule for the past week using her datebook and describe where each service occurred. A reviewer may also ask clients where they met with their employment specialist. And a reviewer may look for location codes on progress notes and client records. Using multiple sources of information helps reviewers to be accurate as possible in scoring Fidelity items.
This video is presented in 10 sections. After this introduction, you'll have the chance to see some critical components of a Fidelity review, including an executive director interview, a supported employment unit meeting, a client group interview, a supported employment supervisor interview, a mental health treatment team meeting, a job development observation, client record review discussion, consensus scoring, and finally a wrap-up. During this video, we will not have time to show an entire Fidelity review, but we hope that the demonstrations give you a sense of how a Fidelity visit is conducted.
Fidelity reviews are most useful when they are understood as a part of a quality improvement process. Fidelity reviews provide opportunities to highlight program strengths and areas for improvement. For well-established programs, Fidelity reviews are an important way to prevent the agency from drifting away from the critical components.
In planning for a supported employment Fidelity review, It's important to allow enough time at the agency to develop a good understanding of the program. The amount of time needed varies depending on characteristics of the agency, such as the number of clients, the number of supported employment specialists, and the number of different sites where supported employment services are provided.
In general, we recommend that a good fidelity review should take anywhere between 1.5 to 2 full days. Of course, this depends on good preparation before the visit.
Before the first day of the Fidelity Review, it is important to accomplish some key tasks. One person from the agency should be responsible for setting up the visit schedule several weeks in advance. The Fidelity reviewers should provide a list of activities to schedule at the agency. The reviewers should approve the final schedule a week in advance to ensure that it includes the listed activities.
It is important to make any arrangements regarding client confidentiality or business associates agreements with the agency in advance. Reviewers should frequently remind people that while they may take notes, they do not record people's names or personal information in the Fidelity Summary Report. We recommend that employment specialists and case managers have the opportunity to be interviewed without their supervisors present in order to promote the open exchange of information. Likewise, we recommend that clients be provided the opportunity to be interviewed without agency staff present. While planning for the Fidelity visit, the agency should assure that there's adequate office space for interviewing people and reviewing records.
For more information about developing a visit schedule, please refer to the Fidelity Review Manual and the Sample Visit Schedule. Reviewers should have a plan for sending the completed Fidelity summary to the agency within a couple of weeks after the visit.
It is useful to establish a clear and common understanding of the purpose and process for the Fidelity Review with both the agency director and the supported employment team leader before the Fidelity visit.
Sometimes, agency directors and supported employment team leaders want to know who will receive the report. We recommend that a clear plan for this be developed in advance. So, let's get started with the fictional agency we are calling Great Lakes Mental Health Center. We'll see you in the next section.